Joe Biden has a problem. He's a hoarder. But instead of collecting trinkets or stamps, the big guy's into classified documents. The FBI searched Biden's home for 13 hours this weekend and found even more secret files, some of which date back to his time in the Senate over a decade ago. Keep in mind, this is the same house that Biden's lawyers said they'd already searched. And the feds aren't done. New reports say the FBI's next stop in the search for missing secret files could be Biden's beach getaway. Even some senior Democrats are growing sick of the BS.
When that information is found, it diminishes the stature of any person who is in possession of it, because it's not supposed to happen. Whether it was the fault of a staffer or an attorney, it makes no difference. The elected official bears ultimate responsibility.
You know, the way I look at this is to think about what the Justice Department is doing. It's a reminder that the laws apply to everyone.
It is a real problem that these documents are somewhere they shouldn't be.
Republicans are demanding answers, but they might not get what they want. The Biden DOJ dragging its feet on cooperating. One Republican lawmaker says it looks like a cover-up. And when pressed, the White House left the door open.
Is President Biden involved in a cover-up?
We've been very clear here from this administration. The president has been very clear that he takes this very seriously.
That's a good question by Ducey.
It is a great
He
question.
always has really good questions.
Yeah.
And guess what? It's Monday, and she still has no good answers.
Well, she's clear about it.
But she's clear. Let us be very clear.
She's been
These are
very
not
clear.
good answers, but which means to me that either she didn't demand them, or there just are no good answers, and that the chief of staff, who is now going to be leaving, and there's a new chief of staff coming in, hasn't either told the president that your press secretary is out there with nothing to defend her. There's nobody out there. As I said, where's Kamala Harris? Remember when people were mad that John Kirby was getting up and doing joint briefings with her because they felt that was taking away from her authority in the briefing room? I would agree with that, except for that if you don't give her anything to work with, and I find it interesting when she pounded the podium there. In a way, I think she's not mad at anybody in the briefing room. She understands what's going to happen, because right now you could say there are 0 days since the White House has not been caught lying about or providing a lack of information, not being transparent, or not even knowing what the heck is going on. I also think that blaming the staff is a really bad thing. So one of the things that happened last week when we found out that there were documents in the Penn Biden Center in that office, there was an accusation that the staffer, Kathy Chung, that was the person, that she packed up the office, so it's her fault. No, actually, now we know that there are documents or items, we don't know how many, it could be a box, from his Senate days. Kathy Chung didn't work for him when he was senator. And so I think when you are somebody who is willing to throw your staff under the bus or let your staff twist in the wind without giving them more, that is not leadership. And they've got probably more shoes to drop.
Yeah.
Judge, where were you on Saturday late morning when you look at your phone and another batch of documents have been recovered from the Biden house? It's stupid at this point.
I remember, and I said to myself, I remember Jesse saying, and this isn't the end of it, and Jesse was so right, and I compliment you for that, I really do. Look, Joe Biden is a liar. He is a repeated plagiarist. He's a serial plagiarist. He had to drop out of presidential races because he lied about who he was. But as a senator, he took documents from a skiff. And when you come out of a skiff, those documents are supposed to be returned. He took them as a senator. He had no right. As a vice president, he took documents. He had no right to take those documents. And now we know he's got documents from 10 years ago, from 14 years ago as a senator. All of these documents are in different places, various locations. What was he doing with them? They're not supposed to be in different locations. Do the locations suggest that he was dealing with different issues in different places? And the truth is, this Republican oversight has to cross-reference the Biden family businesses with the documents, where they were, because we already know the Penn Biden Center had documents from Ukraine, and the UK. And I want to know about China. Were any of those documents from China when they were doing business? The fact that they're spread around in different locations concerns me.
What do you think the chances are that Hunter Biden took a glance at some of these documents?
Good to excellent. He lived there. Sorry, that was
I don't
you.
know. I assume that the next argument will be that he was probably high and drunk, and when you're high and drunk, you don't really want to be reading classified materials in your dad's garage. But I don't know. We'll find out, and that's the point of all of this. And there's definitely been a sea change in terms of the Democratic response to it. Tim Kaine, the senator from Virginia, who thankfully announced that he was going to seek re-election because that was another seat that we would have trouble defending, said, you know, I'm a senator, top senator on these committees. I only look in a skiff, right, at these documents, and then I give them back, and then I leave. Mark Warner on the Intel committee has said, we've got to know what's going on here. These are key allies, Dick Durbin. These are people who were with Joe Biden from the jump in this, in terms of the primary. What it'll come down to is, in the court of public opinion at least, and for Merrick Garland ultimately in the end, but do you believe that the obstruction issue, which so far Donald Trump has but Joe Biden doesn't have, makes these not comparable? I believe they're very different in the fact that the Trump group stonewalled the National Records Office, the FBI, the DOJ makes a huge difference, and they eventually had to get a warrant to go in and take out the documents. I think that makes it different, but there is frustration out there about how the Biden team is handling this. Just tell us, were you writing a book? Were you writing your memoir? What was going on? Why did you have them? There could be simple answers to this. Even if it was carelessness, I shouldn't have done it. Some sort of apology and acknowledgement that something went wrong in this process would go a long way. But it's the drip is bad.
The ghostwriter would then have the classified documents. He doesn't write his own stuff. Greg, you want to hear what my sources inside Rehoboth Beach are telling me?
I'm dying to hear.
They witnessed the big guy tossing classified documents into the ocean before the feds could get down to the beach house.
Really? Your sources?
Highly placed.
Amazing, amazing. Wow. I bet we'll never be able to validate that at all or verify.
They couldn't do it with the Russia hoax either.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. You know, to be fair, Joe Biden did agree to a consensual search, although he thought it would be something else. Showed up with a bottle of Jergens. You know, you brought up hoarders. It's not hoarders. This is not hoarders. Hoarders is where they keep everything, right? Bidens lose everything. Yeah. So you need to do a reality show called Losers, and it's people that lose things, whether it's laptops, diaries, handguns, documents, crack pipes.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the crack pipes?
Yep.
Brain cells, hair follicles. They are the family of losers. They're you know what? Hoarders would look down on them because they're not keeping their stuff together. But I mean, there are basically 5 key elements. I'm not going to go through them, but when you add it up, there's this incredible intersection that you end up with because why was this delayed? That's the big question too. How was it delayed? What's in the documents? How many documents? Blah, blah, blah. But this intersection of a junkie doing deals with our adversaries like China ends up coincidentally in the very same room where there are secret documents just lying about that our adversaries that he's dealing with would love and pay a high price for that. I mean, that could all be coincidental, right? It's just like, how did the bullet end up in Baldwin's gun? But we should probably look at it and find out.
Are.
Yeah.
Good
yeah.
news.
But I mean, you did dismiss it.
I did not. I
You
said that
dismissed it out of hand, young lady.
Out of hand.
In hand.
And we all know what that
I
means.
said.
At least he called you young.
Yes.
I like that. I'm going to be 39 soon. It's brutal. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.